that you
Sure,
yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. So first off, share maybe from the beginning, maybe like a little
Mhm.
background about maybe the self-limiting beliefs, what you've maybe thought, misconceptions. Start off there because I think whoever is watching this would be really helpful.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, I mean, I think like from the beginning, I literally never thought this was possible. Like, I would have small gains of like just maybe like at best a couple of pounds, maybe I lost or something like that, but nothing like this. And like, I thought because I have hypothyroidism that that's completely just, it's not written in our stars to like lose weight on a like larger
Yeah.
level. Like it's really easier for us to gain weight, but it's harder
Mhm.
to lose it. And I was like, oh, I guess like that's just how it is. Um, and like, I think when you had reached out as well, like, I mean, that was probably another self-limiting belief of like, oh, is this really gonna work? Like, and I mean, like, I obviously mean like no disrespect whatsoever. Like, it was
Yeah.
just like, oh, I don't know you. I'm not really sure, right? Like, if this is gonna work or not.
Mhm.
And so everything was just very like uncertain, right? Like, if I join like Coach DJ's program, is it even like, is it gonna help me? Is it gonna work? Is it gonna be too hard? Given like my busy schedule and like work. And so just all these like negative things, right? Like there was still a question mark about, is this going to work? And yeah, so it's like the fact that it did in such a short amount of time is just like unbelievable. Like I told you, like honestly, I today I was just all smiles because I was like, I told my mom and like my mom was really happy and my doctor was like super happy. Like she was just like, I can't
Wow.
believe this because like I told you, like my sugar level wasn't budging from a certain, like it was in that borderline area. And I was like, I thought I was doing stuff. I was like, yeah, I'm working out. Like, I mean, it was 3 times a week, but I wasn't stopping with the carbs. Like I was still eating all the like regular stuff that I was eating before in terms of bread and like we're South Asian, so we always have bread like with every single meal. Like to not have that is like very strange.
Mhm.
So yeah, like I'm telling you, like in a one and a half month that I've been working with you, like it's crazy. Like it's crazy. Everybody's noticing it. My doctor noticed it when I was like walking into the office. Like my neighbors are noticing it. Like my mom was telling me. So it's really like, yeah, man, like the fact that I am now like 4 points below in terms of the sugar level, it's like it's remarkable. Like there's like nothing I can say other than this program definitely had a huge impact.
I love
And
that.
I
I love
think
that. No, I thank you. I thank you for taking that leap of faith and trusting the process. And
Mhm.
just I know for most people when because we never actually met. We just chatted online, right? We never actually knew each other. You probably just saw a few posts, saw maybe some other clients. Sure, you probably saw some transformations. So I give
Mhm.
you huge kudos for trusting in the process because I know it's not easy. But the results speak for itself. And
Yeah.
I wanna like kind of recap like we're not only is your blood sugar now in the normal levels, right? Like in below um, um, high risk, right?
Mhm.
We finally got
Right.
back below the high risk, and
Right.
now we also in 1.5 months you dropped about 11 pounds from what I see here. So
Right.
11 pounds, and I think. You also managed to drop almost 2 inches off the waist, so about 1.6 inches off the waist as well. So like that's huge, right? It's only been a month and a half. We're already
Absolutely.
down 11 pounds. We're already going through a bunch of health markers, and all it took was just trusting the process. So what was maybe share like what was that biggest shift for you? What was like maybe that thing that finally allowed you to kind of like I guess trust the process and really follow through with it.
I think it's how I physically feel. Like I never thought that I would feel very like lighter around my midsection. And like even today, my doctor was like, your BMI has like significantly shifted as well, which was always an issue. Like I was always like, how do I get this BMI down? Like it just seems like such a puzzle. And it feels like your program gave me the key, like it unlocked that key of like, literally it was just a shift in like what I was eating and focusing more on the protein. So I feel like like what was making me trust the process was that I was actually seeing like the little, like you said, the little changes were having an impact. Like each week I was doing the progress photos and like weighing in and all of that. And like normally I don't like numbers, like I don't like measuring things. So the
Yeah, yeah.
whole thing was like a shift for me, like actually starting to measure things, using the food scale, getting on the scale like more often as opposed to like here and there. But I think like what really helped me was just facing reality. I think before that, I was kind of just like running away from reality, like, oh, like it's too hard and it's not going to happen anyway. So, like, why try? And I was just kind of like stuck in that. But I feel like this program also helps you tap into reality of like, okay, this is what it is. Yes, we have to measure things because like we're only going to get results if we're actually conscious. Like if I'm just
Yes.
unconsciously going through life and oh like I don't really have to plan my day, it'll plan itself, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's like I was kind of like in this like la la land before for like a
Mm.
while. So yeah, I think that that's one of the big pieces is just like you said, trusting like the whole process. Like what I liked is it's not just you sitting there telling me what to eat and what exercises to do, but actually helping me look at it holistically. Like, how do you manage your time? How do you manage your stress? What's your morning
Mm.
routine? What's your night routine? And so I feel like that really sets your program apart because it's not just a food and exercise thing, like it's a lifestyle thing.
That's it. That is the, if I were to sum it up, it's that the holistic approach, the lifestyle approach, and like,
Mhm.
what you said was very impactful with the time management, the morning routine, the nighttime routine, the things that nobody talks about, right? Because everyone can give you a diet, everyone can give you workouts, but it's like, how do you actually now take it and incorporate it into your crazy life, right? Because you're super busy. So like, I think one thing that I want to really touch on is that what I am really happy about is that you're seeing the um, the importance of little things
Mhm.
done every single day, right? The habits that we're building. And I think if we were to sum it up, I think the habits that we're building are, number one, what's going to make it make these things stick because you noticed it after just doing it over, a month and a half now that they're making the biggest impact, right? Not only is it time
Absolutely.
management habits, the morning routine habits, the eating habits, these are all things that we implement in the program, and now you're reaping all these benefits, right? And
Mhm.
I think it's yeah, I think what I believe sets it apart is that fact that we're not just like here's a set strict diet plan, here's a strict
Mhm.
you have to
Mhm.
do these workouts. It's not like that. And it's really, like you said, holistic approach because if you do anything, if you're only touching on one part, you're not going to get all the benefits, right? Because there's so many different moving parts, there's so many different pieces. So I love that
Absolutely.
you, yeah, I love that you first of all acknowledge that, and then now because you acknowledge that, you're reaping all the benefits. So yeah, I'm super excited for what else you have. Because again, we're just getting started, right? This is just the
Right.
beginning. I know we have way more goals to hit, and I can't wait to see that. And so, the other
Absolutely.
question I had, like for anyone maybe listening, right? What did you think you had to do with nutrition versus what are you actually doing? So like, um, maybe some people obviously have no idea, right? No idea what to expect with nutrition, no idea what to even do with their nutrition. Talk a little bit about before and now how you feel with nutrition.
I feel like you know what, the app really helped. The app really helped a lot. Like I think that's what disciplined me to like go in there each day. And I'm actually like learning more about nutrition now in terms of like the fact that like the quantity makes a huge difference. And yes, like I can't just eyeball it, the way I used to eyeball things. Like I do have to really see like what the portion is. And I like how you allow us to have flexibility. So I think in the beginning I was kind of like stuck on, oh, can I eat like, because I really like brown rice. So I was like asking you, like, okay, I don't really see that in the plan right now, but am I allowed to eat that? And you kind of really helped me understand that like it's all able to be interchangeable. Like it's not like this is set in stone, it's a guide. And I think the app is what really has helped me to be disciplined, like go in there, log my breakfast, go in there, log my lunch, my dinner, and then the snack, and then also understand the flexibility of like, okay, if I did maybe eat like too much at breakfast and the calorie intake is a lot more, then I'm going to be adjusting throughout the day. Like maybe I'll have a
Yes.
smaller portion.
Mm,
Right, right. Like especially with the snack, like sometimes I notice like it's kind of hit or miss with the snack because sometimes I have room for the snack, but sometimes I don't. But like by that time I'm already satiated. Like even if there's no more room for the snack, it's like, okay, that's fine. Like I don't need to have a snack. Whereas before this, I used to like it was, I think it's like a psychological thing, like, oh, I should eat something before I go to bed. But it's like, no, like I actually don't need to. Like if I'm not actually, but if I did it properly, if I followed what you have set out properly, I actually shouldn't really be hungry at night. But even if I am, like I'm noticing it's not the end of the world. Like I think before I used to feel like if I'm hungry, that's bad. Like something's gonna
hmm
happen to me,
Yeah.
or like, just like I was with carbs, I was like, how can I give up bread? That's like impossible. How can
Mhm.
anyone get through the day without bread? And so I really like your plan really surprised me because I realized that like, no, you really can, and you can actually be even more optimal in your like work performance, your focus. So yeah, I think that's what did it for me is like a combination of like the tools that you use as well and the knowledge. Like I think the trainings
Mhm.
that you have are really helpful because like you're actually breaking it down and teaching us. And I think that's what really works for me because I am one of those people that needs to like learn. Like I'm a bit stubborn. Like I don't
Yeah.
just listen to people because they told me
Got it.
to do something. Like I want to know, well, why? Like why are you telling me this and why are you telling me that? So your trainings really, I felt like broke that down.
Amazing. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I think that was one big thing that I really want to, I think that was one thing I told you before you even joined the program that I want to teach you all these things, right? Like I'm not gonna just tell you it. You by the time that that you go through everything, you're gonna understand. Like I always like that analogy, right? I don't want to just give you a fish because then yeah, you're gonna lose the weight,
Right.
maybe for a week, maybe for 2 weeks, but then what? Right. So I wanted to give you the whole fish or teach you how to fish. So
Right.
that's the whole process of it. So amazing. So you got the flexibility, it helped you stay accountable. And I know a lot of people, just to kind of touch on that, they might be thinking like, ah, it's such a drag. I don't want to be thinking about what I'm eating. I don't want to be thinking about this. But I love that you are see because it's all about, and this is one thing we talk about a lot in the program too, mindset, right? It's all about how
Mhm.
you look at it, right? And I can tell, like for you, it gives you more clarity. It gave you more of
Mhm.
a almost like a guardrail, right? Because you were talking about, okay, if I'm at my third meal and I ate three whole meals, I know where I'm at, and I even if I don't have room for the snack, I know that I've had enough today, right? And
Mhm.
that's the key because a lot of times, like you said, a lot of people think hunger is a bad thing, or that even feeling a little bit of, I feel like I want to just snack on something. That's usually why people will kind of mindlessly eat, and then they'll wonder why they're never losing weight, right? And I think one conversation we had helped you with this mindset too, is that
Mhm.
your body is changing as you lose fat. Your body wants to hold on to what it knows, right? And so when you feel hungry, it's just your body going trying to go back to where it was. And so a lot of the things we talk about too are mindset. Talk a little bit about your mindset, just like because I think this is also maybe the most impactful thing that at least I believe in success in a program. It's the mindset. So Can you share maybe where your mindset was before versus now?
Absolutely. So, my mindset was not good. Like I was very skeptical. Like I have a bit of that like definitely skepticism within me. And I'm not gonna lie, like when I was first doing the workouts, I was definitely like complaining a little bit. And I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like be able to do these. So it was like, I'm not gonna lie, it was a little bit negative in the beginning, like just starting off and being like I think everything was so new, right? Like, okay, like now I have to do this, and like now I have to have like this morning routine and this night routine, and then I have to be consistent, and then I have to log this stuff. But I think the way that you helped ease me into it really helped a lot. And like as I was doing like the workouts, I was also realizing, okay, like this isn't actually that bad. Like, because I
Mm,
used to do other stuff before. Like I told you, I would think that, oh, cardio is like super important and you have to like do this for like 30 minutes to an hour or like an hour, right? And like I think once I saw your workouts, I was like, this is very like doable. Like this is like bite size. Like each exercise is like bite size. It's not actually like so, out of this world that like you feel like you can't do it. And so I think like literally my mindset like just shifted like from negative to like, okay, like maybe let's keep doing this, to, oh, I'm seeing results. Oh, the scale, like the number is finally starting to go down. And so yeah, I would say it was not positive in the beginning, but then gradually, like
yep.
it started, I started seeing the results and like seeing how you've really fine-tunedly crafted this like program. And it makes a lot of sense, like especially for even myself who was like, I don't know if this is gonna work. And then I just realized that like, why didn't I do this years and years later? But then, you said that like when the student is ready, the teacher appears, and I
Yes.
definitely believe that as well.
100%. Yeah, no, I love that. I love that. And just talking about that, I think it's important for anybody, listening to understand that in the beginning, like I think we talk about this a lot, right? Like nothing that you do in the beginning feels comfortable, right? Like when you
Hmm.
learn a skill, it's never comfortable. Like when you ride the bike the first time, you're probably going to fall down, you're probably going to fail. But as you go on, you do these micro adjustments. And that's what we did, right?
Right.
And as you were doing your workout, you were making these micro adjustments. Plus, your body was also getting stronger. So, like, just
Hmm.
like with the riding the bike, every time you rode the bike, maybe you fell, you kind of felt defeated, you kind of felt, "Ugh, I don't know if it's for me." But then you kept doing it, you kept doing it, you kept doing it, you got better at the skill, you got better at the skill. And now we wouldn't say that you're doing it like, okay, it's so easy, but now we know we
Right.
can do it and we're progressing each and every single week, which is exactly how a fitness journey is, which I love. I love
Absolutely.
that. So mindset was a big thing, the workouts, the nutrition. What do you feel like maybe if you want to share something with somebody that wants to start their journey, what's your best piece of advice? Maybe that you wish you knew now that you know kind of what you know now.
Hmm. I would honestly say, like, you feel like you have a new lease on life, like, literally, like,
Mm,
you feel like, okay, I don't have to be stuck in the same rut that I was in. Like, it was like a wall, right? Like, and you're just getting frustrated because you're not seeing like results. Like, one thing I would really say is like, like I may be good at a certain thing, but I'm not actually good at this. Like, I needed a coach, right? Like, I needed somebody who could teach me because I was, like you said, I was doing the same thing over and over again, which is the definition of insanity. And just
right.
being like,
Yeah.
oh, like, why am I not getting results? And just going into a like further downward spiral of like, oh, I guess it's not possible. Oh, I guess I'm just gonna have to live with whatever the consequences are of like, not being able to lose weight or not being able to get my blood sugar level down. So yeah, like I would say that's like one of the hugest takeaways for me is like it really opens your eyes to like, oh my gosh, like if this was one self-limiting belief in one area of my
Exactly.
life, like what other, areas am I like it's like a gateway, right? It's like the
Yeah.
gateway into and then even today, like with my doctor, she was like, yeah, let's see how much more you lose in the next couple of months when I see you next time. So it makes you feel like you just feel like you're on top of the world. like, and you just,
Mhm.
like I said, you have a new lease on life and you're like, wow, like this is like, what was I doing before? Like, which mental, prison was I in
Yes.
before?
And I did not pay Lamina to say any
Right.
of this.
No,
As
absolutely.
great as this sounds, because this is literally music to my ears, right? Like this, I love that. I love what you said because I often talk about like, fitness is a vessel, right? Fitness is a vessel to ownership over your life. So meaning that like I
Yeah.
believe that everybody who can take ownership of their health and can overcome, or I don't want to say overcome, but has
Mhm.
full control of their health, can take control of their health, it applies to everything, right? Because
Right.
everything that you're going to learn on your fitness journey, it's gonna, just like you said, self-limiting beliefs, this idea of, feeling dumb at first and then getting better, progression,
Mhm.
progressive over, like all of these things are so applicable to everything that we do, right? And I truly believe that what you just said is literally why everyone, well, I believe everyone
Mhm.
should get a handle on their health and fitness. Because like you said,
Absolutely.
yeah, yeah. And
100%.
when you overcome this obstacle, it does truly open your eyes because like you start to question like, wow, I actually could do this, right? And so many people
Mhm.
have struggled for it, just like you said, years and years and years, running the same place, running the same cycle. And then you break this cycle. You break like, I don't know, the wheel flies off and you're like, holy crap, there's a whole new world that what
Mhm.
else can I accomplish? What else can I do? I think that's the most exciting thing about taking control of your health. And of course
Right.
everyone wants to get healthier, to lose weight, to feel more confident. These are the main the main things that people look for, right? But I think the most impactful thing in terms of overall just life and
Mhm.
maybe it doesn't even have to be fully like health or fitness, but any endeavor that you do, I think is accentuated and even like boosted, right? Once you know that you can actually overcome and take control of your health, which I think you are now seeing this because now you're
Mhm.
probably thinking like, okay, what else can I do, right? What else can I do? What
Absolutely.
other beliefs can I smash? Whatever
Mhm.
ceilings can I break down? What do you call it? The glass ceilings, right?
Right.
Because like
Right.
we have this perception that this is all we can accomplish. You tap it and it breaks. It's a glass ceiling. It's not really
Mhm.
there, or it's not really
Mhm.
real. I love that. I love that. And I want to ask maybe one last question before I end this
Mhm.
short little interview, and then we'll go into our you can ask any questions. But
Sounds good.
for anyone listening, what would be what would be maybe I'm trying to think of like because at the end of the day, right? As a coach, when we were talking on the call, I kind of pushed you over the edge because we had some self-limiting beliefs, right? And I kind of
Mhm.
guided you through that process, right? So
Right.
maybe what are maybe the biggest excuses you've told yourself? What are the biggest excuses you told yourself that weren't true? Or maybe what are some
Mhm.
biggest excuses or things that you told yourself that stop you from maybe looking for help sooner? Something like that.
Mhm. Mhm. I think like it's really easy to just get caught up in like work and like just being busy and being like,
Mm,
oh no, like I don't have time for this. And it really made me realize like, wow, like, at some points in my life where I was, even just a couple of years ago, like during COVID, where I was like gaining more weight and like focusing so much on work and like, work
mm,
production and performance. I'm like, now I look back at that and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I was literally slowly, destroying my health. And I'm like, it's really surreal to kind of look back at that and be like, that's how sucked in I was. Like, that's how much health was not my priority. It was like the last thing, right? Like, maybe if I have time, I'll do this or I'll exercise, but it's not that important. Like it's more important to do your work and perform. And now it's like everything has just been flipped on its head. Like, no, if you don't have your health, you have nothing. Like you have absolutely nothing. And I think it's totally shifted it for me that now Like before I'd be like, oh, I don't have time. Time was another excuse. I don't have time. Like I'm so busy. I have such a demanding job. I have all these other, responsibilities. I don't have time. And now my priority is actually on cooking and like meal prep. And, that has paid off dividends. Like, yes, it's taking time out of my day, but it's paying off. And like one of the things I love about the program is that I really like one of my anxieties was, oh, is the meal plan going to change like all the time? Am I going to have to like adjust all the time? But what I really like about your program is actually it's very consistent. It's like, if this is like, I liked when you said, if this is working, we're not really gonna shift it or change it
Exactly.
up. Cause like for me,
Yeah.
it was just giving me anxiety, like, oh man, like if it changes completely different the next week, then like what am I gonna do? And so I just like it's almost like a comfort, like a security blanket that okay, I know that these are the staple meals and it's going to be
That's
pretty much the same. And I mean, like you said before, I know some people don't like eating the same thing, but I actually really find it very comforting that like I'm going to eat this thing, then I'm going to look forward to eating this thing, and like it helps to bring more discipline and stability into my life. And
yes.
discipline is definitely something that I struggle with a lot, like in this area of my life.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I love
Mhm.
that. I love those takeaways. So what I really heard was just like it's really easy to get caught up in like thinking that we should sacrifice our health in order to be
Right.
productive. But in reality, if we focus on our health, we're that much more productive. It's like
Right.
we're kind of like chasing our tail, right? Because like if we just start focusing on our health, we would actually have more output because we have the energy, because we feel
Mhm.
good, because we actually have, the ability to pay attention versus like kind of brain fog
Right.
and whatnot. Yeah, I love that. I love that takeaway. Yeah. So that has been really insightful, Amina. I really appreciate you sharing
Mm,
this, and I
thank
think this
you.
is going to be really helpful. And I think they're definitely gonna have to stay tuned because we're gonna do a part two, obviously,
For
months down the line.
sure.
But it's really
Absolutely.
exciting that we're seeing all this success so early on. And this is really the power of just making the changes, making the small changes, taking these little
Mhm.
habits. And with that being said, I thank you. Is there anything else you want to maybe share a message with anyone that maybe is tuning in or listening?
Yeah, I mean, I would just say like it's definitely worth taking that first step. Like it's literally that first step. And then once you've started that, you just keep building momentum. And I think that's the best part about this is like you really do start thinking like, oh, I wish I had done this like, long ago. But it also helps you realize too that it's never too late. Like you
Mhm.
might think it's late, but it's actually not. Like you can literally reverse entire, like things that you might be going through or health issues. Like it's really remarkable, like just the power of like nutrition and the exercise and all of that.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you sharing that. And guys,
Thank
stay
you.
tuned for the part two. Where we definitely need to do a follow-up for this. So thank you again.
Thank you so much, Coach.
You're welcome.